Hey guys, welcome to RC Video Reviews. Today I'm here to show you my new little portable field charging station. I started working on this when I went to the field the other day and I just felt like a pack mule. I was carrying I'm going to bring up my big box and share it with you. I was carrying my big old box and I had cameras and gear all strapped to that thing and it's heavy. And I was just there to fly a couple quads. I had 2 quads. So I thought, I love my box. I mean, that box is awesome. It's like a do-it-all Swiss Army knife when I'm at the field box, but it's just so heavy and sometimes I don't need all of that. So I've been thinking about this for a little while and I originally came up with this idea and I started to use I was going to use one of those battery boosters, and the idea was to use a battery booster and use that as a portable power supply and then take the something like these ISDT air units and use those at the field. And of course that was a bust because they dramatically lie about the milliamp hour capacity of those batteries. It turned out to be like a 3,200 milliamp hour usable on that. So that was pretty terrible. And so that didn't work out at all. And then I started looking at other options. And before I get too far into this, I'm going to tell you guys right now that if you're interested in a solution like this that's standalone, it can be done with 18650s. In fact, in the STL download that I provide on Thingiverse, I include the plug for the power supply. I'll show you that in just a minute, but I include the plug so that if you'd rather make that a battery box, you can. Okay, so this would work with both. I used a power supply, and part of the reason I did that is because I have AC power in my truck. So no matter where I go, I've got AC power. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what field I go to. I've got it. So at my regular flying field, though, we have AC. So anyway, that was the first point. And the second point was I didn't want to tear apart my desktop charger every time I go to the field. So this was designed with portability in mind. That was kind of what I had in mind when I made this. So I'd like to give you guys a little tour of this real quick, and then I'm going to take it apart and show you how it all works. And then I'll put it back together and show you how easy this is. Now, before I tear it apart, I'm going to tell you that I have about 90 bucks in this. So $30 for these 2 guys. That was the plurality of the expense. It was 60 bucks for those 2. And then I paid $18 for the power supply. And then a couple dollars in spare, wires and little feet and stuff like that. I threw a couple dollars in the budget for that. So, 90 bucks. And if you only need one of these, you trim that by 1/3. So you can get away with a lot less. But anyway, this is the situation, and the chargers, I'll show you real quick how the chargers work. So these are ISDT air units, and the cool thing about that is I've got them paired with my phone. So here's the app for my phone, and I've got a 4-cell. This will do both 4-cell and 6-cell. I made modifications to my balance extensions so I can plug in both. I can actually plug in everything up to a 6-cell, actually. So there's that, and then if you want to control one of the chargers, you can either press the quick start button and start charging so I can get the 6-cell going just by doing that. Or if I want to control it directly, I can just enter that charger on the app and that'll bring it up and I can make changes to whatever I want to do. So you can see that battery is charging right now. That's the 6-cell that's charging. And if I want to stop that, I can just stop it right here just by pressing stop, and that stops it. So really convenient control. And just to show you, here's the other one just in case you want to see. Very easy to switch between the 2 once you're in the app, and that'll be the 4-cell battery that's connected. And actually I can bring that up to a charge. So I'll set the battery voltage. I'll put it at storage. I'll do 3.85. I've been doing a little quad testing with this one, so I'll put it at 3.85 and hit go. You can see that charge light starts going, and there we go. So that's a charge station. Real simple, right? Real quick, DIY with batteries. Hello, how you doing? First in. And then B Stern, how you doing, man? Paul Hope, that way. Good morning. Brutus, hello. Richard Webb, hello. And North 49. Hey Chris, how you doing, buddy? So anyway, that's the so the operationally speaking, that's how it's going to work in the field. I bring this out, I plug it in, and there we go. Oh, one other thing I'll show you. The ISDT chargers have USB. So if you have a GoPro, you can plug your GoPro in like this, and it's got the USB right here on the side. You'll see the GoPro light. There's a charge light starting, and we just set that down here and let that charge while we're out flying, doing our thing. Okay, so that's that. Let me go ahead and take it apart. I want to show you guys what everything looks like taken apart. And I'll tell you right now, these 3D parts are big. There's a lot. It took a long time to print this, and it took a while to design it too, to be honest with you guys. I spent the video output this week is going to be a little light because I spent hours and hours not only printing this or designing it, but also prototyping it and printing it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and show you the travel condition. So I'll show you what it looks like when it travels. We take these batteries out. I'm still working on a solution for the batteries. But the wires, they just kind of, they'll tuck underneath right here. And by the way, I'll show you this later, but this is open for fan intake. Okay, so that's opened up for fan intake. Anyway, just stuff your wires underneath that little compartment there. And this little guy is ready to travel. Let me unplug it 1 second. All right. And I need to double side tape. I'm going to double side tape this down. So I haven't done that yet. So you might see a little bit of flex, but don't worry about that. I'll cure that with some tape. But anyway, there's the idea with the wire loom. That just takes care of the AC wire. You have to find a way to tuck it in there. Maybe a piece of Velcro might be helpful, but there you go. That's the idea with the AC wire. And then the USB cable, you just stuff that in the side somewhere. So that's the travel state. And then on the side, there's a handle. So I designed this handle to either fit a grown man's fingers. So you easily should be able to get a couple fingers in there to carry it, or you can use this as a strap. So that was the other idea I had, is using one of the battery straps and strapping that to something else you might be carrying, like your backpack or whatever, but real easy to carry like that. And then when you get where you're going, you set it down. And then on the bottom, a couple of rubber feet. I put those in the description as well. So if you need those, they're in there. And by the way, the charger's in the description. The charger's in the description. The power supply's in the description. The rubber feet's in the description. I think the only thing I didn't add were the XT60 connectors. So anyway, that's the travel state. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of Velcro to help keep the AC wire tidy. Pursuit FPV, I've been waiting for this since yesterday. Thanks, man. Let's not, yeah. I've been working on this for a long time, man. This was a lot of edit time on this thing to get this right. Okay, let me take it apart, and you can see you basically have some options in terms of putting it together. There's nothing holding this together right now, and honestly, I don't think you need anything. The only thing I really think I want to add is some double side tape on these things to prevent that flex. That's it. A little bit of tape underneath there just to keep those from flexing. That's probably all I'll do. But there's no load. The only load bearing piece on the whole thing is this handle, and that's a very tight compression fit around the power supply. Very tight compression around there. So that's that. But let me pull it apart so you guys can see basically how it goes together. It's so simple. Now the cool thing, if you know anything about 3D printing, no supports. Every single thing on this prints on its back, no supports required. There isn't a single support required on this entire print. So if you know anything about 3D printing, you know that's cool. And that was another thing I had in mind. I wanted this to be super easy print. Bottom line, guys, if you can get a good first layer, bam, you're done. It takes time, but it's a really easy print. And if you do print this on these pieces, since they're not really load bearing, I set the infill only at 5%. You can see that I've got a little pull away. That was due to me. This is new filament, and that temperature I cooled it too rapidly. So that's a retraction, but it's fine. I'm not that worried about it. I actually added a little bit of a radius there too. So I think the radius pulled a little bit, and there's a little bit of heat. That's why it pulls away like that. But again, that's partly because I added a radius. So yours actually might do that too. Now that I think about it, that might not be due to heat. That might be due to the fact that I did radius this box. And you can see where the radius meets the square right here. That's what that is. Anyway, that's the battery tray. Very simple. And then the handle, again, the handle is kind of a compression fit deal. It just slides on, and the idea is that the wire loom is held on by the handle. So this whole thing just kind of slides off like this. Again, I was thinking Legos, I was thinking Legos or a Rector set, and that's it. So again, this is strictly no supports required. I actually put a couple holes in there. Originally, I was thinking I might screw some things together, but it doesn't need them. It doesn't need them. So that prints flat just like that, no supports. That prints flat just like that, no supports. I'm telling you guys, I spent a lot of hours. I spent a lot of hours on this. So anyway, no supports on these guys, and this is the handle, and the handle is very robust, right? So a lot of ability to grip right here. It's very strong. No concern about dropping that. This thing holds the entire device. This one I printed at 50% infill just because I didn't want any deterioration or movement or flex on this. So this has got a little bit of a stronger feel to it, and that's 50% infill on that one. And then the last piece is the charger tray. And I'll peel that off. And I do actually have a little bit of double side. When I was working on setting everything up, I added a little bit of double-sided tape. Oh, I forgot. This has all got wiring in there. Well, let me go ahead and. Well, I don't know how easy that's gonna. Well, I'll just show you. So there's the wiring underneath, and the tray prints. I just put some openings in there to allow ventilation and to save on material. There's no other real reason for that. And then the wires come out the bottom right here. So this thing, once basically you put this on, and you just slide it on like that, and what I'll probably do is right here. Well, you can see I already did. I used a little bit of double-sided tape, just a little. Don't do a lot, because if you want to take something apart or make changes, you don't want to fight with it. So just a little bit of double-sided tape, and that'll kind of hold that thing in position. So that's it. That's the design. It's really simple. And again, I spent a crazy amount of time considering how not to have supports and how to not require things to be. It doesn't require any hardware. It doesn't. This requires no hardware to work. Oh, one other thing I want to show you real quick too. You see I've got a strain relief on the AC wire right there. You got to do that. And then what I did is I took my soldering iron and I put a relief in the plastic right here just to heat it. You know, basically you can see it from here, I think. Yeah, you see it right there, that little gap right there. I made that gap with my soldering iron to create strain relief for my zip tie. That was it. Or to create space for the strain relief zip tie is what I'm trying to say. So a little bit of strain relief right there for the AC cable. Do that, and then you can also print it back if you want. I thought about it, and originally I did, but I thought, you know what? When I'm at the field, I might want to tap into those for something else. Maybe put an XT60 lead on these and power something else. So I just left the back off. I decided not to do a back. You know, it's a little industrial, but I'm okay with that. I know what I'm doing. I'm not gonna stick my screwdriver in the back. So that's it. Then to put it back together, real simple. The handle just slides on. Remember, that's compression fit. And then the battery tray just slides on the other end. And if you wanted to make it real secure, if you really wanted to get mental about it, you could put a piece of double-sided tape right there, just a small piece. And then when you put this thing on there and compress it, that's it. That pretty much will keep the whole thing together. It's a very snug fit. And I did print mine, by the way, with PETG. This is a PETG print for durability. So there you go, guys. That is the first look at the charger. Now, as far as the specs go on the power supply, this is a 24 volt, 15 amps, so 360 watts. That means that these are only 50 watt chargers. So I'm only using 100 of 360 watts. I've got plenty of expandability there. So the other thing I thought about was modularity. So if you know anything about editing 3D parts, you may take this charger tray and change it to something else. And it's easy to do that without modifying the rest of the design. You basically have a charger tray that big. So if you decide you want to use a different style of charger, you can do that. Modularity was key to me. Everything about this was meant to be replaceable or changeable. If you only want to print one or charge one battery at a time, you might take one of those trays out with an easy slice. It'd be easy to slice that off there. You can rearrange the size of these compartments. You could make one big compartment if you want. The whole point was that I wanted to make the whole concept very modular and very easy to change around if you want to. And if you know anything at all about editing 3D parts, this is very easy to modify. But the dimensions are all there. So if you start with my power supply, or if you use a battery tray, if you want to use 18650 batteries, you can change this out for a box. So I included the plug. The plug is there for you to use as a tool to measure the inside dimensions of all the caps and the handles. So the idea then is that the plug is there, and if you use that as your battery box, it will still work with this whole design without rescaling and resizing everything. And you should still be able to print it in a modular format with no supports. Okay, that's it. Questions? I don't know if there are any questions. Let's see. When are you licensing this design to ISDT and Toolkit? Yeah, I know, right? This is yeah, I think this is pretty cool, man. I think it's going to be a handy little thing for me when I'm out at the field. You see that move? That's why I put a little double-sided tape up there originally. You put a little double-sided tape up there, that's it. That's the end of the movement. It doesn't move after that. And then by the way, that's the other thing I did too. You'll probably notice if you look at this, there's a lot of angles in here. They're all designed to work with each other. So these square angles, everything's designed to be press fit and work with each other. So that once everything's on, you'll get less movement too. So a little bit of strategic double-sided tape, maybe under here, and then one on this end cap, and man, this thing will be pretty locked in and fairly simple to take apart if you need to without destroying everything. So FL Engineer says, when are you licensing this to ISDT? Yeah, it's free. You know, it's out there on Thingiverse. The link is in the description, so check that out. And if you guys are into 3D printing, real easy for you guys to make one of these. It takes some hours. I'm not going to lie, it takes some hours, but the prints are ridiculously easy. Everything prints flat on its back, no supports. If you can get your first layer, I'm telling you, you can print this very easy, not hard. Thumbs up button, it's free. That's awesome, man. Yeah, thanks. If you guys could hit the thumbs up, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it. Ram Jam says, great setup. Yeah, thanks, man. I think it's kind of cool. What I really like about it is instead of humping that big box now, you know, it's a lot easier, a lot less, you know, just a couple quads, couple batteries, and I'm good to go. I just got to figure out, oh, I guess that fits in there pretty well. I just, you know, good to go. not hard. There you go, on the way. You know, it's that fast. Wrap the cable up, grab the handle, on the way. And then, yeah, good to go. And I can charge, you know, because it's AC power, obviously, I've got unlimited ability to charge. I can charge up as much as I want without any concerns there. And, yeah, tidy, keeps everything organized. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm at the field, I've always got stuff splayed out all over, so it's nice to know this stuff is all organized. I often have a big drink handy. I have a big, you know, big gulp near me all the time. And when the wind blows, if it knocks over, that's another thing. This is completely off the table. That was another thing I had in mind was if there's moisture or whatever, you got everything is off the table. It's not sitting flat on the ground, so you don't have to worry about that either. So that's it. Chris says, great job, John. Thanks. Well, I hope you guys can find use in it. And, you know, the other thing to think about is it's a thought experiment too. So, you know, this works for me. It may not work for everybody. You may have different needs, but, you know, maybe you start with just the handle and the two end caps and build yours from there. You know, you cut off the entire top row and redesign the top. It wouldn't be that hard, but you've got a good baseline now to work from. So that's the other concept, you know, think of it like a thought experiment. You know, you can go out and take this and you got a lot of the work done for you already, and you can use it as a baseline to build up your own configuration or one that works for you. So that's it on the field charging, the portable field charger box. I guess you guys will be seeing this in videos and stuff as time goes by. You know, this will show up at the field, and I'll definitely be using this. And can you charge fixed wing batteries? Yeah, yeah, you can. I never, you know, I didn't put any like standard 2200s. If you guys want to see it, hold on. I'll get one. So here, I just got there's a 1300, so that fits in there nice. If you're flying little, you know, little small planes, there's a 1300 3-cell that fits in there fine. There's a 4-cell 2200 that fits in there fine. And then here's a 3-cell 2200 that fits in there fine too. So yeah, I wouldn't, no problem, no problem at all. Definitely some flexibility there. Now you start getting into bigger batteries, you just set them on the side, you know, you just lay them on the table. That'd be or maybe across the top, you know, something like that. So they'll work. It has a lot of flexibility. I was trying to keep it simple. I was trying to keep it functional, modular, and easy to print. I really focused on ease of print. So I need to get a 3D printer. So many possibilities. Yeah, definitely, man. If you don't have a 3D printer in RC, you're missing out. 3D printing, I always come up with different gadgets and doodads that I use on for 3D printing for the hobby. And I'll show you the feet too real quick. These are the pads that I put on the bottom. These are actually for quads. That's what I got them for, but they work and they make a nice little standoff on the bottom. Kind of gives it a little bit of a finished look too. And I think I just dropped the battery out. And then the tape, this LLPT double-sided tape, this stuff is ridiculously strong. I put a link to this in the description as well. Really good stuff. Project Farm did a video on this stuff and it's really good. It holds very tight. And on the metal, it's insane. I mean, it's holding these chargers down. I just put one little strip right there. It's holding the chargers down perfectly. And yeah, it really works well on metal and plastic. Hey John, what was the brand of battery? I think it was 19, and it was what was place you got it from again? It was like a week ago. You mentioned Bill. That was these, and they've actually raised the price back up to 22, which is still a pretty good price. But these are Liperior batteries. They are 6S 1550s, 75C. This is pretty much what I use for all my 6S quads now. I can use it for all my quads actually, except the baby croc, all 5-inch and bigger, I should say. But I got these at rcbattery.com, and they take a little while to ship. They're a little slow getting stuff out, but they do fine. You know, I haven't had any problems getting parts from them, and the batteries seem to work really well. Yeah, so that's it. And they're about $22 now, which I still think is a pretty good. Still think it's a pretty good price. But when these first when I first found these, they were $19. They were actually cheaper than the same exact battery in 4-cell. That's a 4-cell 1550, and these were cheaper. The 4-cells were like $25, and these were 19. It was crazy. I remember back in the day when you flew planes. I still fly planes, man. I just did a video. I flew the Skipper. And it didn't work well. I even had that on the Pilot Jam on Friday. Come on, dude, you're busting my chops. Hey, Anthony, good evening from Great Britain. How you doing? Bill, you're welcome. Welcome. Very good. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's it for the field charger. I hope, again, you know, this works for me. So, you know, I know there's some people who be like, well, just take the charger. Well, I don't want to take my charger. I don't want to tear my desk charger apart. This is portable. This is designed to be portable. And I really like the Bluetooth aspect. So that way I don't have to be right next to the thing. I can just pick up my phone and look, and that's cool. So I like that a lot. And I've got power. I've got some headroom on this thing. So room to grow if I want to. I can add more gadgets here if I choose to later. So that's it. I hope you guys, I hope it inspires you. I hope you like the creativity behind it. And, you know, join us on Discord if you want to talk about it more, ask questions about it. I'll be happy to take questions on Discord as well. So if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. A comment after the video would be very good. And if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. It really does matter. It helps the channel grow. It helps with placement. All of that stuff matters. I want to give a shout out to my patrons on patreon.com and remind you guys, if you'd like to help support the hobby, you like the kind of work I do here, if you feel like you're learning stuff and that helps you, you can join Patreon for as little as $3. It's $3. It's a cup of coffee. So if you're willing to buy a cup of coffee a month, you can join Patreon and help the channel grow and move forward. Looks like I missed it. Dan, we'll try to rewatch. Thanks, John Canny. Don't worry, man. You'll get it. You got to get into 3D printing, guys. 100%, man. You got to get into 3D printing. The things you can do with 3D printing that you can't do. I mean, I don't have the same problems that I used to have. You know, I constantly used to think, well, how am I going to do that? And now with 3D printing, I don't have those problems. If I can think it, I can make it. And that's how I did this. I just said, well, I want a portable device that'll carry my batteries and carry my chargers and keep everything coordinated and tidy for me, and it's a lot smaller. Remember, this is the box that this is competing with. Remember this? That's the box it's competing with. That thing is, I love it, but it's too big. It's too big when all I want to do is fly a few quads. I don't want to bring all that stuff with me. All right. Well, that's it for today, guys. I appreciate you joining me. Hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment afterwards, and hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, man. That really matters. It really makes a difference when you guys hit that subscribe button and join the channel. That's all I've got for today. I hope you liked the material. Michael D says, what software did I use? Michael, are you asking about the design software? I actually use Tinkercad. Tinkercad. I'm not a 3D like design ninja. I'm not a CAD guy. Tinkercad was it's cute for kids, and that's how they introduced it, to help kids learn CAD. And it's free. It's on the web, and you can design stuff and print STLs. I made this completely within Tinkercad, and then I sliced my models with Cura and uploaded it to an Ender 3D Pro. So All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for joining. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy.